welcome to Oral Arts Quick Tips from the Lab. Today we have again with us Dr. Mark McOmie from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Hello, Mark.
Hello. Good to be here.
On a screw retained crown, the lab actually doesn't need a model, so we can do that crown just off your scan body, which you see in the video, the scan bodies that Mark is using. When we accept that file, we know exactly where the implant is placed, which implant it is, the depth and the diameter and everything. So at that point, we're just designing a modelless crown that, just like if it was over a prep.
Yes.
And instead of being over a prep, we just cement it onto the titanium base and send it back to you. And we can do those crowns in 3 days as well.
And you know the funny thing about that, it's like many things in technology. The first one of those we did with you, it seemed kind of crazy. Like we're going to do an implant, which is a hard technical thing to do, and we're going to do it with no model.
Right.
These, we have had no problems with them. They seat exactly, they drop in perfectly. It's seamless. We have integrated that into our practice and actually streamlined our process because of your processes here, able to accept the technology we have, and you match that technology and we deliver a superior product. The tolerances on it are much tighter than we were getting with impressions. It's simpler, it's easier.
Right.
The scan takes just under a minute to scan it.
When you do a model-less screw retained crown, it also saves Mark money because we don't have to charge for soft tissue model. We don't have to charge for a implant analog because we don't have a model. Therefore, you don't need a lab analog. That saves you over $40 right there, just not having those two components. And then you save on the actual crown part. You save another $20.
So we're saving around $60 for a model-less implant screw retained crown, and that's not even figured into the savings of the scanner.
Right, and the impression and all that. So on this case, we just played around and tried something out. We also did a custom abutment with this patient and just let them and Dr. McOmie decide which one they wanted to seat. On a custom abutment, we're not able to do that with a model-less technique, so we do need to have a physical model. And you can see here, this is not the actual case, but a demonstration. We have our custom milled titanium abutment and a printed model. So you don't save as much money with this technique, but let's say that Mark overslept or he didn't get enough sleep and he placed the implant 45-degree angle, which you would never do. But let's say he just really screwed it up and he needed a custom abutment because the screw hole was going to come out in a bad spot. So you can do a digital workflow but still use a custom abutment. And when you need a model, what we're recommending to doctors is to get the Biodenta scan bodies. And Biodenta makes a scan body that allows us to print a physical model. Unless you're going to do everything modelless, you would need the Biodenta scan bodies in order to get those models made.
I'll add this in there too. Sometimes if you're doing an anterior implant, Oral Arts is going to want to have a model so they can do the really nice aesthetic cosmetic work.
Right.
And so when you get the DT Swiss scan body and the inclusive from Glidewell, and then you can do it either way. It's up to you. Sometimes you get the implant, if you're not placing them yourself, you get it back from your oral surgeon, periodontist, whoever, and maybe the bone required that it was in it a funny angle. Now, as the restorative dentist, I've got to correct that.
Right.
And so it really helps to be able to employ the technology you have with what your 6-axis mill to mill us a nice titanium abutment that we can cement onto and correct those angulation problems.
That's a good point. What we tell doctors is when they're getting a scanner and they're wanting to do the stuff modelless, we're okay with things being modelless, say 1 or 2 units, especially in the posterior. But let's say you want to do 6 through 11. I mean, we really need a model to do that. You've got, what, 12 contacts you're trying to spot in just right. You need to give it some really good anatomy and all that. And it's good to have a model to do that. It's not really worth saving the $20 when you're going to do 6-unit anterior case.
Yeah, and you know, on my end, I like it too because I like to bring that case in and put it on the model, look at it,
right,
try those fits in. When we're running, you know, 12 units, I want to put them on the model, see how they draw and where I've got a tight spot.
Right.
Usually that translates directly to the mouth, and then I know the order in which I can put them in. They're going to fit the best, and we like to try it all on the model before we go to the mouth with big cases, so we
Right.
always do a model in those cases.
Okay. Well, that concludes this video session on screw-retained modelless crowns with Dr. Mark McOmie. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right. If you have any questions for Mark, his email address is in the video. He's happy to answer any technical questions you guys might have. If you have questions for the lab in regards to the scanning, just email me or cadcam@oralartsdental.com. Thank you all so much.